Well, hello, and welcome to Legit Leadership. I am Dr. Ashley Gaddy Robbins, and I am so thrilled that you have joined this series. Let me tell you all about what legit leadership is. This is an opportunity for people who are thinking about going into leadership positions, emerging leaders, people who are new leaders, people who have been leaders for a very long time, and people who also are managed. That's right. Legit leadership is not only for a person who may lead others, but this series is also going to give us an opportunity to really connect with everyone who is managed by people, because leadership is not one way. So I welcome everyone to Legit Leadership in this space. Let me tell you the context behind the name Legit Leadership. So, leadership is a word and a study that has been around for decades. It is truly a philosophy, and quite honestly, its own course and minor or major in academia. I myself have a leadership studies minor. And so leadership has really come about as a theology and as a practice for people to have these tools and tactics to to lead and manage others, especially in the workplace. But what I have found is that when we look at leadership books, or when we look at leadership philosophies, or look at the academic side of leadership studies, we find that there are aspects of it that may need a little work. And what I mean by that is a lot of the practices are centered from one perspective, really kind of this dominant narrative. And what we know in corporations is that CEOs and senior leaders and leadership is mostly looks the same way or one way. So that way is what's centered. The second thing that I have realized is that leadership philosophies and theories and practices are not talking about what really goes down. What happens in the workplace for real? There are charts and there are setups and there are texts and there's literature, and all of that is great. And we will absolutely refer to some of those things here in this series. But legit leadership, it's about what happens in organizational culture every day. We're talking about what actually goes down around thoughts and emotions. We're talking about the things that people hide. We are talking about the things that people think. We are talking about the things that people do. And if we're not taking this everyday, practical, tangible, real deal, legit lens to leadership, and especially by incorporating more than one perspective of what a leader looks like or how a leader thinks, then we will be missing some things and some major aspects of our organizational culture. So, legit leadership is going to talk about topics, some of them that have been submitted by you. So, thank you for everyone who submitted a topic about legit leadership, because you want to see me break down and talk about what's really good. And that's exactly what we are going to do here. I am Dr. Ashley Gaddy Robbins, she, her pronouns, and I am the founder and head consultant of Ashley Gaddy Enterprises, which is my own consultancy. And I am so honored to still be going on and doing business at this time. My main focus is to focus on organizational culture, the everyday aspects of the workplace. See, culture is not your employee handbook. It is not the formal policies and procedures. It's not our KPIs and our profit measures and our benchmarks. Oh, no, 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 no. Culture is who can really talk to who. Culture is how do we really dress up in here. Culture is everybody know who to go to ask for money. Culture is actually, I'm not going to say something in meetings at all because I honestly don't feel like I'm heard or validated. That's culture. And so, what I do is I help organizations and individuals focus on their organizational culture to be more authentic, more inclusive, and to ensure that the people who are already there are being taken care of. So, let me go ahead and just plug myself. If you are interested in growing and advancing your organizational culture and the real deal, authentic aspects of what goes down in the workplace, then go ahead and click on my website, hit the Let's Talk button, and we can go ahead and have a conversation. And while you're clicking, you might as well subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe right now to this YouTube channel because you already can tell by this intro that you want to stay locked in to this legit leadership series. Another aspect that you maybe want to do is you may want some exclusive content. And so you can also head over to my Patreon and you could subscribe to my legit leadership exclusive content. That content is going to give activities and coaching that is really going to allow for more in-depth aspects to every topic each time we present a new topic. So go ahead to Patreon, go ahead and subscribe. You can get $5 a month and it gives you the exclusive legit leadership content. So let's go ahead and get started. So you already know a little bit about what I do, but let me tell you a little bit about my background. Like I said, I do have a minor in leadership studies. And so I have an official degree in this work. And I also have spent over 15 years developing leaders in all capacities in their own self and personal development, but also their professional development in the ways in which they manage teams and manage others. This is something that I truly pride myself upon because my mission is to center humanity in an authentic approach. So you're probably, I can already tell by how I'm talking and how I started this video that exactly how I'm talking to y'all is exactly how I talk to my leaders. It's exactly how I talk to my people who I executive coach because they need to understand that somebody is with them and not kind of try to be above them or manage them. I am with y'all. We are together on this series. And so I have over 15 years of leadership experience and professional coaching experience. I also have served in leadership positions in my own career. And so I became a manager, a supervisor, a leader. Again, we'll talk about kind of the differences in all of those words in an episode. But I started my leadership, people leader management journey in 2013. That is when I became an official supervisor for the first time. And since then, I have made my way up in different careers and different industries like corporate, consulting, higher education, business development, and people in culture and HR. So, and through all of these industries, I have directly managed people and teams, and I've also indirectly managed people and teams, meaning no one reported to me on a thick line, but there was absolutely a dotted line to reporting to me, if you will. People still had to get things approved by me. People still had to check in with me. I still led projects. And so we will also talk about the differences of direct leadership and indirect leadership. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that episode. So that's just a little bit about my personal and my professional background. And as we go on this series, you're going to get to know me a lot more. So let's go ahead and jump into our first topic. Who you want to lead for? Why do you want to lead? Before we can break down these everyday happenings in the workplace, before we can open the door to all of the topics of leadership, we need to talk about this for real. And since we're being real with each other, and since this is legit leadership, I need you to go ahead and start here. Why do you want to lead? And who do you want to lead for? This is a very important question because oftentimes the reason why people want to lead is because they want title and they want money. But see, the thing about leadership and the thing about grooming leaders and having them kind of come into leadership is that people are usually hired or promoted because they did their previous job well. You were an office manager, You were able to do operations, you were able to do scheduling, you were able to do event planning, you were able to know the ins and outs of the budget and our ordering system. You were a good office manager. You were a good coordinator. You were a good fill in the blank, whatever your previous role is or whatever the work you were doing before that leadership role, you were good at that job description. But if you are coming into leading people, have you, without having led people before, most organizations don't give you training on how to manage people. And they certainly don't give you training on how to manage diverse people, meaning a diverse group of people, people who are not the same. So most people want to become the manager or want to lead because they want the title of manager and they want the money that comes along with it, but they're not really trying to manage people. And if we being legit and if we being honest, which we will be this entire time, sometimes title and money are not a good enough reason to come into leadership positions. Because what's going to happen is you are going to then get a team. And y'all, if you know, you know. A team not only comes with 2 to 5 to 7 different roles or job descriptions, it's 2 to 5 to 7 different people, 2 to 5 to 7 different personalities, 2 to 5 to 7 different identities, different stories. My daughter is sick. I have to go pick up my child. Oh, wait a second. I forgot. Oh, wait a second. This happened. All of the things that happen in our everyday life to us, you now get 2 to 5 to 7 of them. And if you are not prepared, and if you don't want to lead because of people, then you may want to reevaluate why you want to lead. Because when you get this team or this person to manage, to guide, to lead in this organization, they are instantly looking to you to be that person that helps them in all areas of their professional life and sometimes their personal life. So let's this be our first thing. Okay? Let's answer this question. Why do you want to lead? Go ahead and press pause now and go ahead and start writing out your list. Or if you're listening to this in the car or something, reflect. Why do you want to lead? If you are already a leader, why did you want to come into leadership? Be honest with yourself, y'all. Be honest with yourself. Don't try to act like you was for the people all the time if you won't. What I also find is that some people want to be leaders because they had a really good leader in their personal experience or they had a really bad leader in their personal experience. So when you're reflecting, is there somebody's name that comes to mind that you can say, you know what, they were a good example, or you know what, no, I won't be like them? Because people who are bad leaders also can inspire us, right? They can inspire us to be better. I won't be like them. You won't catch me slipping. Why do you want to lead? Let me tell you the importance of people being the main reason why you should want to lead. Because not only do you have to guide them on their professional and maybe their personal life, but you also have to be able to manage people while also managing your transition into leadership And you have to manage other also by maintaining your own sets of job descriptions and measurements and fears and projects. When you are tapped into people as the main reason, it allows you to automatically come into leadership with this philosophy of community, not projects, not KPIs, not profit, but community. And a team needs a leader that centers their humanity, that they know they can trust, that does not exclude or discriminate against their identities, that listens to them, that pivots when the time needs to pivot, that can handle crisis around people. And they want to feel like they are in community. Now, with that list of things I said people want from a leader, legit want from a leader, how many of those do you say you can do? How many of those, for my people who have been in leadership already, how many of those are you currently doing? Would you say that there is a sense of community on your team? For the people who are coming into leadership, would you say that that is something that you want to create? And for people who are being managed, aren't those the things you're looking for? Are you getting those from your leader? Because you certainly deserve those. Why do you lead? And then we have a second question. Who are you leading for? That question goes very hand in hand with the first one, right? Because folks usually are leading for themselves, which is so ironic because leadership ensures other people. But most folks don't want to lead for others in real life. If we pull back the curtain, if you look at your answers from question 1, most folks want to be leaders for themselves. They want the title, they want the money, but they also want the power that comes along with leadership. They also want the image that comes along with leadership. They also have their own real valid reasons, right? No one in my family was ever in a position of leadership, or diversity is really low. There's low diverse numbers in leadership, and I want to be able to contribute to a more diverse leadership workforce. And all of these reasons are not bad reasons. Honey, get your money, get your image, and represent. But if the only reason or the only person, when you kind of come out and look at the questions from the answers to question 1, if you look at question 2 and the only continuous answers are me, I, or self reasons, then who you're leading for may not have the other people at the core. So are you leading for you? Are you leading for them? Are you leading for us? All of these are 3 different aspects. So we already broke down to what does it mean to be a leader for you. You want the experience, you want the title, you want the responsibility, you want the representation, etc. Cool. Leading for them means you say things like, I want to make an impact. I want to invest in them. I want to make sure they're good. I want to make sure they. And once again, not bad answers, because we really do need a space where people are being invested in and people are being impacted and people have a leader that thinks and considers them. But when we answer this question, I want to be a leader for us, that goes ahead and continues with this aspect of community. We are a team. We should make impact. We should invest. That allows for the people who you are managing to also do the same for you. See, a person who is leading for us has humility enough, is humbled enough to say, I don't know what I don't know, and I know that the people on my team know. Because if you're entering and thinking of these questions from an I perspective only, you know what you know, and you know how to do it, and can't nobody tell you otherwise, you're going to struggle through this series. If we're being honest, because one of the main aspects of centering humanity, period, but especially in leadership, is infusing humility into your leadership philosophy and your leadership practices. So who you're leading for, when you have us as the answer, you are able to humble yourself to say, I am opening myself up for my team to teach me. I am opening myself up for my team to give me feedback, you see. And that is not often how we are trained. And being in a Western society, we certainly are not socialized for the core of our philosophy to be saturated in community. And we're certainly not socialized for the core of our philosophy to be steeped in humility. Because, see, humility has been socialized to be a word that equals vulnerability and weakness. And we can't have that in leadership, because we need to have a strong front. People need to know that we know what we're talking about. People need to know that there is order. People need to know that we are firm. We are leaders. No. So I ask you to release all of the individualistic accomplishment, achiever, execution, executive mindset. I want us, before we even continue to go on in this series, to release that. To release that. In order for us to do legit leadership, we have to unpack and detach ourselves from these very, very rigid, hard norms and standards that have been set around leadership. Especially for people who hold identities that are vulnerable or have been most vulnerable in this country. Especially for identities that are further from opportunity in the workplace and in the world. See, the root of those identities are usually not even in individualistic culture. It's in communal culture, tribal culture, chosen culture. But that does not mean that we have not been fed hard, rigid, individualistic theories and practices. So why do you want to lead? And who do you want to lead for? Let's get honest with ourselves. Let's come back to the next episode in a frame of mind that allows us to center community, center people, center the collective. And let's learn together. Let's grow together. Let's engage together. If you want to, put some of your answers in the comments. Why do you want to lead? Who are you leading for? Was this helpful? Are you ready to do this legit leadership series? Also, maybe put in the comments how many years of experience you have. What industry are you repping? Let's go ahead and start to build our community now, because we're going to go on this amazing journey together. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to head over to Patreon for the exclusive content. Put things in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Also, if this is something that you want to dive into on a one-on-one level, I offer legit leadership coaching. That is an opportunity for us to have a handcrafted curriculum to your specific needs. I can be your coach through this entire process. There is a year-long program, a 6-month program, and a 3-month program. So if any of this is like, I need this, I need a coach by my side for my particular situation, make sure you go to my website, hit the Let's Talk button, and let's have a connection call around how legit leadership coaching can work for you. All right, now, peace.